Hello there, welcome back to Denton Lane. Hope you're all well and keeping safe in the current times. Firstly, I'd like to thank all of those who have subscribed to the channel over the past couple of months. For those who have liked the videos and commented, it is much appreciated. I do try and reply to all of the comments when I can, so I really value all of those, so thanks very much for that. This is the winter layout update video. We're a week away from Christmas when this is being filmed, so I guess that's exciting. Hopefully you've been eating your mince pies and enjoying some mulled wine during the festivities. That's what I've been doing anyway. So in this layout update, we've made quite a lot of progress on the layout as we come to the end of 2020. I would say that a lot of the main structures are finished, and I think the layout's looking really good. I'm quite encouraged on the progress that's been made. So in this layout update, we're going to go through some of the structures that I've been able to build, and some of the processes and the kits that I've used to do that. We'll look at some loco detailing projects as well, renumbering projects. Obviously give you a quick layout tour to show you some of the new details that have been added, and also some stock projects that I've been working on amongst all of that other stuff. And there'll also be at the end of the video a sneak peek as to the next layout idea / plan for 2021. I try and build a layout a year, and that's not always possible as the enthusiasm goes up and down for the hobby during the year, and depending on the climate and whatever else is going on in life. But I'm really excited for the next project for 2021, and I've been busy planning that. So let's go and have a look at the layout. Let's get on with this video. Thanks again for watching. Hope you enjoy it. I hope you'll forgive the messy workbench. However, this is the another project that I've been working on. A lot of people will have used scale model scenery for many detail items. Such fantastic products that are available that can really add that extra dimension to scenes and cameos, and adding extra detail to buildings. And in this case, these air conditioning units I'm just adding to some of the low relief buildings that I've been putting together for the layout. Again, things like this can just be added as you go along. They're super easy to make. MDF sheet, laser cut sheet, and then the instructions are all there anyway in the shots that you can see. But I've just been making some of these up for the buildings. Yeah, I think they'll look quite good. I will be getting the brackets at some point as well, as you can see in the shots there, just to add that extra sense of realism. So should be adding those in the next few weeks. But I'll show you the buildings once I've got these aircon units in, and a couple of CCTV cameras as well. You'll see now that I've finished adding in some of the aircon units and a couple of the CCTV cameras. These are all available from Scale Model Scenery. Really easy kits to put together. So this is one of the low relief buildings, showing a Waitrose supermarket. I've also done a building that models a Decathlon building, Decathlon store as well. And finally, this is the IKEA depiction. Again, just drying with the CCTV camera as well. Just a few low relief buildings, nothing special, just to add to the scene at the back of the layout. Another project that I've been working on away from the layout this month is to retrofit this Bachmann 37.7 with some Lanarkshire models buffers. I've often found the stock Bachmann buffers that come on these 37s really underscale, and and this is quite a simple modification that really anybody could do. It just involves drilling out the buffer heads, removing the backman ones, opening up the hole slightly, and then adding in these Lanarkshire models buffers. They've just got more depth, and they look a lot more realistic in my opinion. They're not sprung, but that's not something I'm really too worried about on my layout personally. And I think it's just a simple modification that you can do to the Bachmann 37, aside from plenty of other bits and bobs, such as doing laser glaze and fitting the cab windscreens, the edge cab windscreens from Shoreplan, which I must admit do lift the model. However, this is something that is easily done, and I think it's probably a little bit of an underrated mod really, because it can change the look of the model very positively, I guess. So I'm just painting these up now. Again, I've got a photo that I'm working to, just to make sure that it matches the prototype, and I'll maybe try and add a picture of 37517 in now, so that you can have a look at what I'm trying to go for. But this is where I'm up to at the moment. So on my model of 37517, I've added a bit of bling. You can see I've picked out some of the areas in white, and then some of the steps in a sort of burnished silver, just to replicate where the metalwork is worn away over time. So I'll do this on the other side. Just little things like this just add to particular locomotives, and they can make your locomotives quite unique. There's nothing more frustrating than seeing a similar or the same loco on somebody else's layout. So I like to try and make mine unique, and hence why I've renumbered this loco, mainly just so that I can get a unique 375 in the fleet that hopefully, or perhaps nobody else will have on their layouts. So this one's nearly done now. Just got to do the other side. I've noticed one of the vac pipes has popped off, so I'll just knock one of those up again, and then it'll just be touching in the weathering, and then adding the wire loop couplings to one end, and then she'll be ready for service on the layout. We're now moving on to the construction of the control panel for Denton Lane, which uses the DCC Concepts Alpha system. All I've done is drawn up a quick mimic panel in Microsoft Word and printed that off. I've laminated that, and this is just tacked down temporarily to mark the holes, the drill holes for the alpha switches themselves to poke through beneath the board. So the holes are roughly about 3mm wide, and then the alpha PCB that you can see on the right there will sit underneath, and the mimic switches will pop through the laminates. So I'll show you that once that's all in and done. One of the stock projects that I've been able to progress this month is this Bachmann 08 shunter. This is just a standard Bachmann release that I bought off one of the Facebook buy and sell it groups quite a few months ago now. It's got a hardwired chip inside, and the previous owner was going to convert it from an 08 to an 09 shunter, which is the reason why the loco is unnumbered. But that provided a perfect opportunity for me to have a look through Flickr, which is something that I do quite often just to get some inspiration. And I found an image of 08580, which was the Peterborough depot shunter for quite a number of years. It wasn't the only 08 that worked around Peterborough, but it was one of them in BR blue. And if I'm able to, I'll pop a photo of that loco up now on the screen so you can see the project that I'm going for. This loco had obviously been out in the elements for quite a long time. You'll notice that the paintwork is quite faded, and also it has a replacement cab door at some point in its life, so that's been mismatched, which is quite interesting. So the work I've done on this so far is quite easy. All I've done is painted the con rods. They were yellow, and that's been painted with Humbrol matte 330, and I believe also rail freight red. So I can't remember which way round I did those, but I just did one first, and then that provided a key for the next coat. On camera it might look like this looks quite orange. Eventually, once I start fading the loco and doing the weathering side of things, this will dull down quite a lot. The only other thing I've done so far is just painted the buffer heads silver, and the buffer beams themselves were yellow, so I painted those in a matte acrylic black, which I might go over again, as the lip that you'll see between the body and the buffer beam is blue, which actually needs to be black, so I'll go over that again. I may well replace the handrails on this loco as well. They're a little bit chunky and overscale, but I'll see about that as the project goes on. So I've ordered a couple of sets of numbers from Steve at Railtech, so thanks to him for turning those around quite quickly. So the next stages will be to renumber the loco, matte varnish, and I'll probably allow a couple of weeks for that to harden, and then begin the process of fading and weathering the loco. I think this is going to be quite a nice, interesting project. The Backbone 08 obviously has its flaws, but I think it'll be a really nice model once it's finished, and maybe eventually add lights and sound to it too. So this is 08580, the Peterborough Depot shunter. Should be some more progress on this over the next couple of months. Thought I'd give you a quick tour as to what I have done on layout in this month's progress. Starting off at this end, this is the wagon repair depot end. I've added some low relief buildings towards the rear. These are sort of offcuts of Pike Stuff kits that I had in stock, so they've just been detailed with some CCTV cameras and aircon units from Scale Model Scenery. You'll also notice that I've added some depot signage. These are from Sanxi Scenics, so they're custom sort of decals that I've mounted onto some card to give a bit of relief. You'll notice that I've confirmed it as a load haul depot, and this is purely based on the fact that I've got a couple of load haul locos, and I guess also it's quite helpful. These are only stuck on with Pritt sticks, so I can remove those and change them over if needs be, but I quite like the effect that they give. I haven't done anything in the wagon repair depot building itself. Eventually I'm going to pluck up the courage to weather this. At the moment I quite like it as it is, as clean as it does look. Eventually it will need toning down slightly, and a couple of other details adding, such as CCTV cameras and other depot signage. But the beauty now really is that all of the main structures are in on the layout, and it's just going along and adding the smaller details going forward, which is really the part that I enjoy doing. So this is this end of the layout. Eventually I'd like to add some buffer stop lights towards the rear, just to set that off. I've also filled in some of the ground scatter as well as I move you around here. This is where it will show up any imperfections, so I apologise if there's any gaps, but it's helpful sometimes to video this so that you can spot any mistakes. Also considering weathering the track work at some point as well. I appreciate that it looks quite clean, but again I quite like the style so far, so I'm a little bit hesitant to do this. Some other cameos that I've discussed previously, sort of just panning out of shot. I've added a bit more ground scatter towards the front of the layout here. This fencing, which is just backman fencing that I've weathered, and then the additional stop board and speed boards, which are again scale model scenery products. Excuse me. So the business end of the layout, this is the scenic break. You'll remember in the last video that I shared with you, I was going to scratch build a bridge. And whilst I haven't ducked out of doing that at this present time, I found a laser cut kit on eBay which suited my requirements, and I bought it and made it up and painted it, as you can see here. I've just used some enamel paints from Rail Match and some acrylic paints also, just to kind of give it a different effect. I had a look on Flickr and Google Images to get some inspiration for the colours, and I felt like the layout was looking a bit grey, so I added a bit of colour in here. This is Rail Match Southern Region Green, and so eventually in time I'll weather this down and add some details on top, maybe some road markings or some traffic cones or that sort of thing in time. But I'm just really happy to have all of the main structures in place now on the layout. There's no more buildings or anything like that I want to add in, so I feel like the layout is looking a bit more complete, and as I just mentioned, going forward it'll just be a case of adding the smaller details, which, let's be honest, that's the fun part really. It's been adding in some more signage here. Again, this is from Sanxi Scenics. If I get time I'll add a link in the description below, but I'm sure you'll be aware of it so far. This whistle sign, I'm going to add another speed board in next to this. Yeah, this laser cut kit, I had it custom designed for the layout to fit the width here, and it was really competitively priced. So again, if I'm able to, I'll leave a link in the See More tab below so that you can get one if you really want to. Might add a bit of graffiti and other bits here, some depot signage that I've added. This is all just standard stuff really, that anybody can do. So that's about it really. There's a few jobs that I'd like to do sort of going forward. This includes adding some lighting to the layout. So before I've used LED strips, I'm just doing some research into that and trying to get a balanced effect. I'd like to add a couple more lights as well going forward. A couple of more yard lights maybe, just to add to that effect, I guess, and potentially get some lighting to add to the exterior of the wagon repair depot building as well. But I'm quite confident in saying that the major structures on the layout are in, and I'm quite happy with how it looks personally. I think it's come along well. It's taken me a while to get to this point, and I'm trying to build a layout each year. That's my kind of aim really. Yeah, I quite enjoy just running a few locos up and down and shunting some wagons around. That's really the purpose of the layout. It's not massive. Slightly embarrassingly, I've said in the past that actually the layout is 6 foot scenic, and it's actually 5 foot scenic. So that's 5 foot by 1 foot wide, which gives a total length of 8 foot by 1 foot, including the fiddle yard as well. So let me know what you think in the comments section below. If there's anything that I've missed, anything that you think would be good to add to that atmosphere. Just remember that it's very loosely based on Tees Yard. There's so many little details. If you look at images of Tees Yard on Flickr that I can add in, that I'll look forward to doing over the coming months. I'm probably going to add a fence here to separate the front of the factory units here. I guess in real life there would be a boundary between the railway and these units, so that's something I'd like to model going forward. Plenty of fencing suppliers, so we'll have a look at those going forward. But I think altogether I'm really happy. I think, without sounding overly confident, it's a good looking layout, and certainly should be fun to operate at exhibitions if we ever get back to doing those next year in 2021. But yeah, I think just going forward, adding the smaller details in is going to be really fun, particularly looking at prototype photos of Tees Yard and other traction maintenance depot facilities. So yeah, as I said, let me know in the comments section below what you think. If there's anything I'm missing, anything that you feel that I should put in to make the scene look more realistic, I'm really keen for you to share that with me. Positive and negative comments are always welcome. I don't take stuff personally. It's a hobby after all. It's not a serious activity. It's all about trying to develop each and every layout, each and every project that you do. Hopefully you'll get better and learn more skills, and that's ultimately the aim of this layout anyway, is hopefully it can be a bit better than the last one and vice versa. So that's the scenic section, a rundown of what's happened since the last layout update. So this is the control panel area. All I've done here is printed off a mimic diagram that I knocked up in Microsoft Word, and I've just punched 3mm holes through where you'll see the alpha switches. When the control panel board was made, the insert is slightly too thick for the alpha switches to poke through. So I've ordered some 3mm perspex which will replace that thin wood board there that you'll see, and that should give the required depth. So please excuse all of the messy wiring, but eventually, once that perspex comes through the post, I'll be able to put together this control panel and make it look a lot neater, and that sort of tidies up this area quite well. I've shown you the track plan for the field yard. Just gives a bit more operational flexibility going forward with the two isolated lines here. If you remember way back at the start of the layout build, it was just one line in and out, and I just didn't feel like that gave a lot of operational flexibility. So I added this other line in, and certainly it looks a lot better in my opinion. Just a quick reminder that all of the track work is Pico code 100, and using electrofrog points as well, with cobalt analog point motors hooked up to the alpha switch here, and eventually the mimic panel over here. I use a Gauge Master Project Express system as well. I used to have an NC power cab, and didn't really get on with that very well. So I swapped over to the Prodigy Express, and it's worked well so far. I think eventually in the next layout project I would actually be quite interested in having a look at accessory point decoders, so that it transfers everything onto the controller, that you wouldn't need a mimic panel, that you would be able to switch the points over for over DCC over the controller itself. So I'm quite interested to see how that pans out in the next project. So this is the December layout update video. Thank you so much for taking the time to watch the video. I hope you've enjoyed it. I hope it's been informative. Maybe you've got some inspiration from it for some other projects that you're working on at the moment. I'd just like to thank again all of those people who have subscribed to the videos, and if you haven't subscribed to the video, subscribe to my channel rather, please do that, and tick the little bell icon, and it'll tell you every time a video comes out. So this is the December layout update video. We're just under a week away from Christmas now, so there's a few stock projects that I hopefully have shared with you in this video that I'm going to be getting on with, namely the renumbering of that 08 shunter once the transfers come through, and then just some more loco detailing with the current stock that I've got, just adding to that and bringing that up to standards, to the standard that I like on the layout. I've also ordered some wire to start adding wire couplings to my loco, so that you can ultimately have all of the buffer beam, or most of the buffer beam detail, on the front of the locos with the wire hoop coupling. You'll be able to find this on our own web or YouTube. So I'm looking to do that so that I can run, so that ultimately it'll make the locos look a lot better in terms of the front end. I've also got a Bachmann 47 that's away for respray at the moment. It's a triple grey livery. So there's another loco project that hopefully, if you're interested in, I could maybe do a bit more of a how-to video to show you the process that I go through. Certainly on this 08 shunter, maybe I'll try and do that, show you how the process goes with renumbering and weathering and fading, etc., and the things that I've learnt and the techniques that I try and use. So I'm pleased with where the layout's got to. Made a lot of progress recently. Like I said in the video, all of the main structures are in place, and I think it's looking really good. So going forward, it'll just be a case of filling in all of the ground scatter, gluing that down, touching in the different places that might have some gaps in place, adding a bit more lighting, layout lighting and yard lamps on the layout itself, maybe a bit of track weathering as well, and then just doing some more research into T's yard and the little details that are on at that facility, so that hopefully we can replicate it here. And then maybe, who knows, I mean, the layout's never done, but we'll be further along the road than we were at the start of the year. So hopefully this has been enjoyable for you. In another video soon, I'll announce the idea of the next project that I'm going to be undertaking for 2021. So that's a new layout build. I'm not going to announce it in this video, despite what I said at the start of the video. I'll save that for a specific video that will come out hopefully in the new year with some further details as to what that project looks like. But for now, thank you so much for watching. Thank you for subscribing to the channel, liking the channel, leaving your comments. Appreciate all of that. And I hope you have a great Christmas, and take care. Bye for now.